Hello, I'm Ian, designer of Off With His Head, a game where you try to get the revolutionaries of France to kill King Louis before the king finds a way to get them to kill you instead. This is a fully cooperative game where you and your friends, the conspirators, are fighting against the game itself, trying to thwart you at every opportunity. So, how do you win? If the game ends and the king is holding 3 of the same card, then you have won. If this is not the case, then the king wins and you lose. What makes this tricky is that some of the cards may be face down. So you will have to track how cards are moving around, who played what when, kind of feel out what's actually going on, and put faith and trust into your teammates that they know what they're doing. So let's explain what you'll be doing on your turn. On your turn, you will take a card in your hand and place it face up into any empty lobby. You read out the text on the card and carry out any when played text. Then your turn is over. So I'm going to play Letters to Leopold into the king's lobby. This card says, when played, lower the blade. So we lower the guillotine's blade 1 click. Hey Ian, you may be asking, what happens when the blade gets to the bottom? Don't worry about it, I'll explain it later. The second part of the card says I may reveal a card in the king's hand, so I will. And now my turn is done. And because the king was the last player to receive a card into his lobby, he is the next player. So the king will always play the card that's at the bottom of his board. So he will reveal that card and play it. And according to the number and arrow, he wants to place it to the next player on his left. So that would be here. Now if this lobby was already full, it would then go to the next available space. Then remember to immediately move all the cards in the king's hand here down. Now, remember that the king is very lazy and will only do the bare minimum of what he needs to do and no more. So, in the case of the card he played, the aristocracy, it says, when played, each player must pass a card to the player on their left. So, the king is going to pass this player this card, and then all the king's cards in hand will slide down, and then the player who is sitting to the right of the king will place a card into the king's hand, which will move all the way down. Now, all of the lobbies are full, so now it is time to end the round. So a couple of things happen right at the end of the round. First, the guillotine's blade closes a little bit, and you may be asking, Ian, that guillotine blade is moving down. It's like, don't worry about it, I'll explain it in a minute. So then, the king takes the card that was in his lobby and places it in his hand face up. Then the players take the cards in their lobbies back into their hands, and then a new round can begin. This pattern will continue until the end of the game. So I explained earlier that you win by ending the game with 3 of the same card in the king's hand. Now I will explain how you actually can end the game on your terms. So, there are 3 basic ways that the game ends. The first is you, the player, are holding 3 of the same card at the start of your turn. If that is the case, the game ends. You don't necessarily lose, but the game is over. The second ending condition is if the guillotine's blade covers the 1 on the guillotine. If that happens, then the next time the king would start his turn, the game ends before he does anything. And third is if you vote to end the game. So, the players have these vote cards, and at any time, even when it's not your turn, you can just flip your vote however you like. If a clear majority of players have a yes vote showing at the start of the king's turn, then the king does not take his turn and the game just ends immediately. At the end of the game, you reveal all cards in play and then check to see if you've won or lost at that point. Okay, so now let's dive into how the king thinks. He is designed to be as simple and as straightforward as possible. As a rule, the only card he cares about is this one. All other cards in his hand may as well be invisible as far as he is concerned. He will always pick this card in any situation when he needs to make a choice. Let's take a look at some examples to see how he reacts. Let's assume in all of these examples that is the start of the king's turn and he needs to play a card. He will always pick the bottom card to play. This one is the aristocracy. He will play it into a lobby per the rules about numbers and arrows I discussed earlier. This card says that he needs to pass a card. And because all the cards in his hand are constantly falling down, he is going to pick this card to pass. Then all of those cards would fall down, and then whoever is passing a card to the king will pass the card here, and then that card will also fall to the bottom. All right. So now, let's have a look at Anne. Her ability says, when played, you may. And that is your cue to stop reading because the king will never choose to do whatever comes after the words you may. So he's just going to place it into a lobby and then forget about it. Okay, the next card is Letters to Leopold. The first half of the card talks about when he is played, you lower the blade. So we lower that down one notch. And then it says, you may. And as with Anne before, he's never going to do whatever is after you may, so the king's turn is done. All right. This next card here is the Declaration, and this card says that it can't be played into a lobby, but on the king's turn, the only thing he cares about when playing a card is the number and arrow. So, because that arrow says to place it into a lobby, he's going to do that, regardless of what the card says, and because there's no when played rules on this card, his turn is done. All right. This next card here is Reign of Terror, and normally this card can't be played into a lobby if you're holding any red cards. But, as I mentioned earlier, the king considers anything that's not in this spot to be invisible. He can't see this red card when he played it. So it simply goes into a lobby, and because it has no when played effect, it is the end of the turn for the king. All right, and the last example here is Hans. Hans has an ability where he wants you to pick a card at random when he is played. So we slide all the king's cards down, and he's always going to pick this card even when it's at random, because remember, all other cards in his hand are invisible to the king as far as he is concerned. So the only card he can see is this one, so that will be the card he picks to pick as the random card. Now we want to cut to me and my friends playing the game so you can see all of these rules in action. All right, so let's do this thing. So shuffle the deck, set that to 6, all knows. King gets 5 cards. Okay. Get your card ready to pass. Judging by that noise, I know exactly what's in your hand.
No cheating, sir. No cheating. This is your game.
So,
to me.
okay.
Bypass the king during setup.
Okay.
Alright, so now that we're set up, the king has the first turn. The king plays this to Lizzie with a you may statement, so nothing's going to happen.
Okay.
All these move down.
So why does the king always play to Lizzie?
It's just
At the bottom.
It's
It
the
says 2.
arrows.
Oh.
So sometimes he would play to other people because there's like 1 in there. But it depends on what he's playing.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
And if that lobby is full, it goes to the next one?
Yep.
Okay.
Although, funnily enough, the king will never play to himself. Because I mathed it out.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna play this to the king.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. I will pass.
This.
That. Okay. Now king goes again. So that is to you. So that's a you may, so nothing will happen. So now it is your turn.
Let's say 2 players to the king.
It can't go to mine. So
Right,
then
so we don't go to Ian.
Oh, yeah, to me.
Good call.
Alright.
So I thought I did the math right on that.
Right, and I can't do that. So we will do... Yes, this is the correct decision. So we're going to pass cards to the left. That card. Okay, and so now the king gives me a card, and end of round, all these cards go back in hands. Blade moves down. Start of new round, you have 5 cards. Okay, so everybody pass a card to the left. And you're confident that we have the right combo.
I believe you.
So just to be official, we will do all that. So now we will reveal all cards in play. Yep, those are the 3 aristocracies.
Very nice.
Okay.
That was quick.
Yeah. Okay, so we've taken out some of the more simple cards, throw in some more complicated ones.
This will be much more difficult.
Yes. Alright.
King gets dealt first, yeah.
Yeah. Just so you don't forget. Alright.
choose one to pass to the left.
Yep.
Okay.
Bypass the king on setup.
Oh, okay.
Alright. So now king goes. So this is 1, 2. So the king will not do the you may, but when played, the blade does go down.
Okay. Well, I don't really want to play any of these today. So I guess I'll play this to the king,
Okay.
and then we all pass the card to the left.
Yeah, okay.
She's got one hell of a name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, right. And then the
gives
king...
you that card. Ian, he's passing
Oh,
a card to you.
yeah, passing me a card. Yeah.
And
That's
now
right.
it's the king's turn.
Now it's the king's turn. So that's you, and the blade moves. Oh, okay. So if I counted the cards right, there is a card in your hand that I want you to give to me right now. It would help us out tremendously if I was holding that card, not you. Sure, I'll work with it. All right. So that's end of round.
Okay.
Just like that. And now it is my turn.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what card you thought I had, but...
Okay, so I think you're going to know if this is going to work for us.
I trust you.
Okay, so we still have to go through the motions of
Yes.
this. I'm starting to second guess myself. Okay, so pass a card.
Yep.
Okay, I'm more confident about this now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
Now the king has to play that, or no?
no, because at the start of the king's turn, we all vote yes to
Mhm.
end the game. So now we're
Yep.
going to reveal all cards in play. So I'm holding one Swiss guard.
So am I.
Okay, so
Oh yeah, okay, cool, okay. And 3 aristocracies.
Aristocracies.
Okay.
That could have gone way worse.
Oh yeah. So we got time. You want to try one more? Okay, so
Legendary difficulty. Let's go.
yep. This is not as hard as it could possibly be, but it is dang hard. So
You're saying you have a harder version?
there's a harder combination of cards to win with.
The different combinations of cards can give this some decent replay value.
Yeah.
I imagine with more players, you play with more cards at once.
Yes.
That makes it infinitely more complicated.
Yeah.
And more fun. Spicier. How many does it go up to?
6.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Is that not counting the king?
Not counting the king.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Is this
And during setup, you ignore all the text on cards.
beautiful? That was
Okay.
what I was going to
Yeah.
ask.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
We'll let the games begin.
All right. So king goes first. Also, the king ignores a lot of the passing and playing rules.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, because he's on autopilot.
yeah. So he's gonna play the Swiss guards onto Lizzie.
Which they do nothing.
They do nothing immediately.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I can't play that one. Don't want to play that one. We'll do something spicy. I'm gonna play the constitutional clergy
Okay.
onto the king,
Okay. Okay.
and then I'm gonna give away all my cards.
Yep. So yeah. So you pass one
Go
card to
1,
each
2,
of us.
3.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see here. We'll do.
And I think the way.
Wait, how does that interact with this card though?
The Reign of Terror?
Yeah.
Well, you would just have to pass that last.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
At worst.
Yeah. At worst. Yeah.
Okay. I'll give that to you. I'll give this to the king. I'll give this to you.
Okay. And then we all get to pass a card to.
And so I get that one of
Yeah,
the kings?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's for sure. And then I will pass this card. And you can pass Lizzie the card you were given. That is an option.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Oh, right.
Yeah. All right. So now the king's turn is to put some Swiss guards onto you.
Okay.
One card I really don't want you to give me. Not that that helps. Okay, I'll deal with it.
Okay, so then we all pick up cards?
Yep.
Well, and the guillotine goes down.
Yep.
And the guillotine goes down.
All right. Okay, so I will also play constitutional clergy.
Okay.
So I'm gonna keep one of my cards
Right.
because I have
Oh,
4.
gotcha.
Yeah.
So there. There. And there. Okay. And then you all give me a card.
And the king gives you that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm really glad I picked up that card from the king.
The king counts as a player, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Just on his own team called the Royals.
So I have to give you a card.
Yep. And then depending on what you give me, I might feel confident. But I have to wait and see what you give me. I do not feel confident.
I thought you might not.
Okay, good. I'm glad you picked that card to give me.
Yeah.
Okay, so now it is the king's turn.
Uh-huh.
And we're just gonna leave it at that. Alright, so this is to Lizzie. Time goes down.
Okay. I'm gonna play.
I was like, I know what you think you know what I have.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm gonna play this one to you, and then I can reveal a card that's the plane.
Okay, it is. Okay, it is indeed.
So how does this actually work? So, like this one, so if the game ends and no player controls a duplicate of any card, the conspirators win. So like we could just vote now on this win condition?
Yes.
Except that the king has 2 cards that are duplicated.
Oh,
Yeah.
so it counts him too.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's extra spicy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's part of the design there.
Okay.
Okay, so
Not as easy as I thought.
No.
I'm going to play this to you,
Okay.
and then that will mean it'll be your turn, and I know what one of the cards you have is,
Right.
so I will know if you can end the game with your next card.
Correct. Okay. Let's do this. Okay. So
You should be able to just play that card if you think you're not going to die to the Swiss army.
mm-hmm.
Are you confident?
Well, we'll find out,
Yeah, we'll
won't
see.
we? Because I need to pass this and this
Mm-hmm.
and this.
Okay.
And then you guys need to give me 1 card.
Okay, and I'm voting yes. Because I feel confident.
I also feel confident.
Okay. I believe you.
Okay, so we all vote yes, start a king's turn, we reveal all cards. Okay, so the Swiss guards are all broken up. That's good. And he's got 3 clergies.
Good job, guys. So when you passed me Swiss Guard and I already had one. So I had to pass you one back. And I was worried. I didn't know if you had 2 or not. Because I was worried that Kay was going to pass
Yeah, well, Ian passed me a Swiss guard as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I knew not to give him one back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff. When you voted yes, I was like, okay, we're good. Because your hand doesn't have 2 Swiss Guards.
Right.
But that was what I was worried about.
You